Well, hello, folks. I'm Jeffrey Darty, the Christian Whistleblower, and these are the no, this is not the Nag Hammadi. We just did that. This is the secret teachings of all ages, putting out a lot of content here lately. That's why you should subscribe to the channel so you will make sure you get the content, and so you will help us drive our, whoops, wrong way, help us drive our rankings up the YouTube hierarchy so more people will see these programs and more people can take advantage of this teaching. And to help you do so, we have put all of our ebooks on sale, including the Diamond New Testament, and they're just $2.50 for each ebook. I do have a brand new ebook out about spirit cooking. That one will be $5. Every other one is just $2.50. So go to the website, jeffreydarty.com, get your ebooks. While you're here, give this video a thumbs up. That drives it up the rankings. Like it. That's how you do that. Share it. And also subscribe to the channel because that drives us up the rankings and allows more people to get exposed to these videos. So we're going to go right into Manly P. Hall's great work, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. And today I want to talk about the disciplines of philosophy. And I know some people's eyes glaze over, and if yours already have, you might as well move on because this isn't for you. But there's 6 headings under which the disciplines of philosophy. And we saw last week that philosophy is the ability to weigh things one against another, the ability to judge things, the ability to evaluate things, the ability to come to rational, objective, empirical decisions regarding things based not upon your facts, not upon your feelings, not upon what your grandmammy and your daddy and your mama before you taught you, but based upon, not based upon what your pastor, your priest, your angel card reader, your palm reader, your guru, your whoever. Not based upon what they told you, not based upon what they sold you, but based upon the relative merits of arguments and the relative merits of accessible empirical information. That's what philosophy really is all about. And this shows you the value of Hall's great work here, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. And it really is the secret to all the teachings of the ages is to be able to develop a philosophical mindset that is marked by discipline, that is marked by scholarship, and that is marked by an ability to get oneself into an objective place and thereby be able to evaluate information, because as Mark Twain told us, it's much easier to fool someone than it is to convince them that they've been fooled. And so many of you have been fooled, and yet you won't let me show you that you've been fooled. And there's only so much I can do. There's only so many times I can try. So we're still trying to do our best here. And there's 6 headings, according to Hall, of the doctrines of philosophy. It's really common classification of philosophy. And the first one we want to look at is metaphysics. And according to Hall here, metaphysics deals with abstract subjects such as cosmology, theology, and the nature of being. Sorry about that, the nature of being. Metaphysics. And that's where currently most people in the so-called truth movement, most people in the conspiracy world, most people in, that you're going to hear on the radio shows, that you're going to see on YouTube, they're stuck in the realm of metaphysics. And that's not totally bad to be stuck in the realm of metaphysics, because we are by nature dealing with abstract subjects, subjects that you can't really nail down. Things about cosmology. Cosmology, this would be your flat earthers and your hollow earthers and your hollow moon and, the multiple dimensions and the Mandela effects and all of this. And of course, not all of that is right. Not all of that is wrong. And there's nothing wrong with talking about it, debating it. People say, Jeff, what do you think about the flat earth? Well, I say go watch my video on can you see Planet X from the flat earth during the Mandela effect if you're in Antarctica. That was a show we just did on 11th Hour Messenger, and that kind of gives you my ideas and thoughts about the whole flat earth phenomenon. So metaphysics deals with things like cosmology, the world, space, how it works, how it looks, what it is. And then it also goes into theology. And of course, that's the study of the divine, the study of spirituality, if you will, the study of comparative religions, and then and the nature of being. Who are we? What are we? Where have we come from? Where are we going to? How do we get there? Is this all there is? So metaphysics is really the primary realm of the truth movement, so-called, of the paranormal movement deals with metaphysics. And that's not bad, but the problem is that's about where they stop. They embrace the philosophical discipline of metaphysics and stop there and try to think themselves and proclaim themselves to be philosophers when they're not. I mean, if there's 6 classifications of philosophy and you're majoring in one of them, you're not even half-baked. You're not even quarter-baked. You're 1/6 baked. So that means that explains a lot. That explains why, should I say it or should I just bite my tongue? What the hell. This explains why only about 1/6 of the information. Now, this explains why 5/6 of the information that you hear coming from the truth movement, so-called, and the paranormal movement is garbage. Because they're only focusing on metaphysics. And they're not taking the discipline to move into logic, to move into ethics, to move into psychology, to move into epistemology, to move into aesthetics. Hell, they can't even spell most of that stuff. And yeah, I'm part of the movement. But that's why you go on my website and you have 8 different teaching categories, 8 different teaching series that move beyond metaphysics, based in metaphysics, but your metaphysics ain't worth a crap if it's not buttressed by logic. Your metaphysical rantings and ravings and teachings and discoveries aren't worth a pile of beans if they're not buttressed by ethics. Your metaphysics are worthless if they're not buttressed by psychology. Your metaphysics are worthless if they're not buttressed by epistemology and aesthetics. In fact, they're worse than if you didn't know anything. So metaphysics is not the end, it's only the beginning. Because then we have to move from metaphysics to our metaphysics, we have to add logic. Which logic really is the laws governing rational thinking. Or as it's been called, the doctrine of fallacies. And if you major just in metaphysics and you don't add logic to it, you will be teaching fallacies. You'll be believing fallacies. You'll be spreading fallacies. I see these YouTube videos, tens and hundreds of thousands of views, and they're fallacies. They are not logical. They're not governed by the laws of rational thinking. They're strictly metaphysical, and they're fallacies. I'm not going to point out which ones they are, because I frankly don't want to throw rocks at other people in the movement, because I want the movement to hopefully step up to the plate, and that's the hope here. But to our metaphysics, we must add logic. To our talks about cosmology, we must add logic. To our thoughts about theology, we must add logic. To our thoughts and teachings about the nature of being, we must add logic, or we must shut the hell up. If you're not going to add logic to your metaphysics, then get yourself a nice big cup of shut the hell up and get off of YouTube. Because you're not helping, you're hurting. You're causing difficulties and you're causing it to be harder than people. You become part of the foolers, not the helpers. So to your metaphysics, you must add logic. And to your metaphysics and logic, you must add also ethics. Ethics is the science of morality, individual responsibility, and character, concerned chiefly with an effort to determine the nature of good. Your metaphysics are worse than worthless if they're not buttressed and governed by logic and ethics. Logic gives you rational thinking. Logic allows you to detect fallacies in your metaphysical presuppositions, and then ethics will guide you in your morality, guide you in your responsibility, and allow your character to determine, okay, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong, this is clickbait, this is reality, this is actually something that could be provable, this is not just sensationalistic, this is not just fantastical, and it will govern what you put out. Just because it's metaphysic or metaphysical doesn't mean you should put it out. And everything that you put out that is metaphysical should also be logical, and that it should come within laws governing rational thinking. It should be free from patent fallacies. It should be guided by ethics, morality, responsibility, character. It should be good. It should be within your best efforts to have the nature of the metaphysical stuff you put out be good, because why? It's governed by the laws of rational thinking or logic. And again, 5/6 of the crap that is put out by the so-called truth movement and the so-called paranormal movement and the so-called conspiracy movement is worse than worthless. It's harmful. Why? Because they stop with the discipline of philosophy known as metaphysics and don't move any further forward. And that's why we're talking about what we're talking about. Your metaphysics must have logic and must have ethics, or it's worse than worthless. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. We do deal with metaphysics, but we are governed by logic. We are governed by ethics. I'm at jeffreydaugherty.com, christianwhistleblower.com, at Unindoctrinate on Twitter, Jeffrey Daugherty Show on Facebook, Jeffrey Daugherty Show, Jeffrey Daugherty on YouTube. And I'm encouraging you, I'm imploring you, to your metaphysics, add logic. To your metaphysics and logic, add ethics. And on the next time, we'll look at the last three headings of philosophy. This is the deep water. These are the building blocks. These are the tools that you can use to truly unindoctrinate yourself.